right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm thinking it is 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Matt Statter. This is Chatter with Statter. Welcome to the show. I've got a little button to press because I forgot to press it beforehand. Hold up. All right, here we go. Buttons have been pressed. Okay, it looks like we've got Gina in the house. I'm guessing we've got a couple other mods here. Someone like Rick also in the house. Okay, we are live. And that was Ashes giving a little wail, a little wave with her tail. We might have seen another something there, but we'll pretend it was just the tail, okay? Just the tail. Yes, that's right. Hey, Darlene, good to see you. I am juggling cats today. In fact, the cat just did something, and now I don't know. Oh, no. All right, this will be interesting. The cat just took me off the screen, so it took me a second there. All right, we've got Gina, we've got Rick, we have got Darlene, we have got Ashes, we have got Dusty over there, and we also have in the house, we have got Leo. He is on the cat tree as we speak. He's been there since 11 o'clock this morning. Hasn't moved a muscle. Well, that's not true. He's moved a couple muscles. But yeah, he's doing a little snoozle in the window. And very, very happy he is. In fact, I'll show you how happy he is in a little bit. But before that, I'm going to say, hey, Kenny from the Cove, good to see you. Glad you could make it here today. And let's see here. All right, well, now that people are starting to stream in, we might as well get that party started. And then we'll, chitter chatter. Let's get at her. There we go. That's right. Today is the very first day of spring. I hope that you are thinking that spring has sprung. I'm thinking that the last 2 days before spring were way nicer than today. I mean, today's not bad, but it's not the 70 degrees that we had yesterday and the day before yesterday. And let's see here. Kenny from the Cove. Cat tree? You didn't know cats grew in trees, huh? Live and learn. Well, gosh, Kenny, clearly you have not seen the video, the picture of the cat that was growing off of the banana tree. And yes, banana trees sometimes sprout cats too. If I had the picture, I would show it, but I don't. Maybe I'll find it. And let's see here. Makani K, Anala Ikea, Keala. I don't know what Makani K Analia. Oh, are you saying the Lono words that are being played right now, perhaps? Let's see here. All right, Darlene, you're bummed here. You thought spring was here with our warmer temps, and all of a sudden, and the sprouting clouds, but no, winter's trying to come back down to teens tonight. Snow moving in Thursday and Friday, 3 to 5 inches of wet heavy snow. But you got that right. Yeah, no, that is a pain in the arse. Spring is not nearly as sprung as it was yesterday and the day before, but it is not nearly as chilly as what you are facing there. We're not talking the teens, we're just talking like instead of 70, it's like 58, which frankly is, now I feel almost Hawaii-like in my spoiled weatherness when I hear about Darlene and the wet heavy snow that's coming. But I also hear, word on the street is, Mama Sean's in the house from YouTube side, and a little birdie told me that Thomas the Turtle's here also. Okay, maybe it was a turtle that told me. And maybe the turtle's name was Thomas. Good to see you, Thomas. Good to see you there, Mama Sean. Happy you guys are here. And so, since we're talking about kitties already, might as well talk about kitties. I got out of my, I slept in late and I got out of bed. And when I got out of bed, this is what I saw. Boop. I saw Pete's. I saw Fuzzy Cat Pete's hiding in the little cat tree. You know who that is. You guys know who that is. It's Leo. And then, as soon as I took that picture, he was like, what? Is it time for my photo shoot? Let me look luxurious and handsome for you. Why, yes. Let me stretch out my arm and look to the sunlight pensively, as though I'm envisioning I don't know what. But yes, toe beans, toe beans, toe beans. And then his little glamour shot right there. He's looking so off into the distance. I think that's going to be his profile pic for his dating app because he looks so handsome. But yep, so there we go. If Puzzycat was in the house, this would be all about Puzzycat. And hey, Aveda, good to see you. That's not my cat. You're right, he's not my cat. I'm his person. I'm his person, but he is not my cat. However, even though he's not my cat, and neither is Pete's, right now, he's still literally in that exact same spot as when I took the pictures earlier today. And then in the picture on the left, you may or may not notice, in the very bottom right corner of the left picture, there's a little bit of a brown leather chair backing that you can see. That's Leo's favorite chair to sleep on when he's not on the cat tree or when he's not in my laundry cupboard. So there you go. That's the Pete, the little Puzzy Pete toe bean update for my Leos. Not my Leos, the horoscopes, but my Leos, the cat that doesn't belong to me. And let's see here. Oh, okay, so Rick is calling Darlene out. Don't listen to her. She's a snow bunny. But Darlene's like, but I'm worried about my plants. Fair enough, fair enough. And let's see what we got going on here. All right. Mama Sean, you've had a cat that looked like Leo for the last 43 years. You know, it's funny you should say that, Mama Sean, because I have had 3 different cats that look almost exactly like Leo, but none of them were mine. Let me explain. Since I have lived here since 2004, I have always had my cats, but there have also always been strays that have just been like, yeah, I'm kind of hanging out with you now. And the first of those strays was a cat that looked almost like Leo, but a little bit smaller. And hey, Terry in Scotland, raiding in. Oh, well, gosh, Terry, I was going to raid to you later on. Because Terry in Scotland, he was playing a video series this week that I was really into. But alas, I couldn't be here today. So I'm super stoked that Terry and Pinnell could come in here. Katie Zora might be somewhere hiding, maybe not, we'll see. But thank you guys, Raiders, for coming on in. And, but on with the kitty cat stories. So, when I moved in here, eventually, I had 3 cats. Whiskey, Guinness, and little girl Kitty Kitty. Little girl Kitty Kitty was a long-haired gray tabby. Whiskey was an orange cat. Guinness was a black cat. Well, they were a great threesome. However, the band of wild feral cats was too much for them to handle. And so this other cat, who I called Puff, because he was very shy, and he would disappear like a puff of smoke, he looked just like Leo, and he hung out there for quite some time. In fact, he eventually would let me pet him and hold him. He eventually would come into my house and sleep on my bed, where when I would pet him, he would purr and hiss and growl all at the same time, because he didn't know. He didn't know that he was a good boy or something. I don't know. Anyway, he was very confused about getting feels. He chose to die in my house, so he had adopted me. And then as soon as he left, another cat came along who eventually was known as Big Poppy. And Big Poppy, I swear, was a son or a grandson of Puff, because he looked exactly like Puff, only huge. It's like he ate 4 puffs to become one big puff. But instead he was Big Poppy. And so he stayed with me for many years. And then he got very sick, and I had to give him up, and I think he ended up getting put down. It was very sad. But then after he left, Leo came along. And so I have had cats that look almost like that for the last 20 years, but they were different cats. And I think that your 43-year-old cat wasn't really 43. I think you had multiple kitties that looked like that. That's what I think, Mama Sean. Even if Dr. Steve says it was the same one. And that's right, Aveda. He was Big Poppy. Big Poppy was a cutie. And Gina, yes, days like today do make you miss Pippin. It is a tough one. But one day, the Cat Distribution Network will deliver you the kitty that you need when it gives it to you. Because, and they had different names, but Steve says the same one. That's hysterical. That is so funny. Although, I think Seth Meyers was talking about, Seth Meyers, in case you don't know, he used to be on Saturday Night Live, but now he's got a late night talk show on Channel 5, like midnight 30 or something. Anyway, his family growing up, and even after he left, always had a sheepdog. I think it was a sheepdog. We're just going to say it was a sheepdog. And it was always named Albert. Like, they had 7 different Alberts, and they were just always Alberts. Mostly because the dad couldn't remember the other names, so he just kept calling it Albert. Yeah. There you go. And Kenny from the Cove, the best thing about going to a cat rescue is seeing which one is going to choose you. That's who you got, Hobbs, your late, great orange soul-saving kitty. Soul-saving kitty. Exactly. And hey, did I not say hello to E-Music? E-Music, good to see you. And let's see here. All right, so Terry, you came in late. You didn't get to see it, so everybody who's been here before got to see it, but I'll show it to you now. Ashes is right here, Dusty is over there, and Mr. Leo is in the kitty tree. Those are Mr. Leo's peeps, and there's Mr. Leo right there in that tree, and that is where he is right now as we speak. So all of the kitties are accounted for and cozy. I don't know why they're all inside right now, but they are. And Dr. Steve's grandma always named her parakeet Pete. There you go. There you have it, Rabbit. It's just easier that way sometimes. And that's right, Terry. Leo! And Aveda, maybe a pending rainstorm. That's what I was just thinking that. It's like, is there going to be an earthquake? Is there going to be a hailstorm? What do they know that I don't know? But I don't know. Maybe they just want to be loved and cozy. And let me adjust that. There we go. All right, you guys. So let's see. What are we talking about today? I don't really know. But yes, perhaps there's going to be fire and brimstone. I hope there's not going to be fire and brimstone. After all, we aren't on that many equator faults. Not equator faults. What are they? Earthquake faults for the fires and the brimstones to shoot up. Oh, Easter's coming. That's right. Easter is coming. And actually, speaking of Easter, you guys, I don't remember what day Easter is. I think it might be like, March 31st or something like that. The Merry Monarch Festival is usually happening around Easter time. Is that correct? I think it is. And once I figure out and find out what days the hula competition will be showing, just like last year, just like the year before, I will try to find an online source where we can watch the hula competitions from start to finish. It's a long 6-hour stream. It goes late into the night, but the last couple of years that I've done it, we have been blessed with Hawaiian cultural practitioners coming in onto the stream and explaining to us what's going on with the dances, what this, that, and the other means, what some stories are that they're referencing. Just a whole lot of incredible learning. And so once I find out exactly who and where who's going to be streaming, where it's going to be streaming, and exactly what time it's going to be streaming, I do want you guys to know that I will be streaming the stream as well, so we can watch it together and just hang out like we did the last couple years. And so hopefully I get to see you guys there. And Mama Sean, thank you. Some of the music I've tried to So Mama Sean basically just said background music is louder than me right now, which, in case you guys are wondering what I'm talking about or didn't notice, that is going to happen occasionally. I had tried to set the playlist. I've been told that there's a way to set the playlist so it has an even loudness from song to song. I don't know how to do that clearly right. It doesn't seem to work. So some songs are mixed louder than other songs off of a different album. So some songs, because this is literally a mixed list off of over 15 different Lono albums. Sometimes some songs are going to be louder than others. So if we ever get a case where one's too loud or one's too soft, feel free to shout that out and I can do a manual adjustment. I don't have, I'm running deaf here. I don't have any earphones, so I don't get to hear how loud the music is versus my voice. So there you have it, Rabbit. That's what's going on. And let's see here. We have got, what have we got? Yes, today is the start of spring. And let's see here. Kenny, I should get a positionable camera so I can get clandestine footage of the kittens while I'm streaming. It's not even a case of a clandestine one. What I really need to do is just figure out how to get 2 cameras hooked up so I can switch to one. On the other hand, Kenny, when and if I choose to do that, that would open you all up to seeing my house. And when I look at the piles of clutter that I don't want anyone to see, a pile of boxes there, a pile of boxes there, oh, a pillow over there, a paint canister over there. Oh, look, more boxes. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. Oh, no, Terry, I have no problem. My stash is right here. My stash is within arm's reach. In fact, most of my life is within arm's reach of this command center. I've got my pamplemousse. I've got my ibuprofen. I got my skin moisturizers. I've got my skizzers. I got my phone. I got my work stuff. Yeah, dude. I'm like, I've got everything, which is basically why my house is a pile of a mess, because I have everything I need in a little horseshoe surrounding me. I'm surrounded by a teetering pile of stuff. And yeah, exactly, Darlene. When you live in a small house, it's totally understandable. Because seriously, like, I was looking the other day, like, God, I really need to put stuff away. And it's like, where are you going to put it away? That cupboard's full. That shelf is full. That shelf is full. That cupboard's full. Where is there a way to put it? It's going to just sit there until something... yeah, exactly. And, Verity coming in with the vernal equinox when the day is as long as the night. And is that true? I don't think that's true everywhere. I think that's only true, like, at the halfway point between the halfway point between the equator and the pole, I guess. But I don't know what I'm talking about. So, like, correct me on that. I'm looking up, my weather app has the length of the day and the night, and I'm very curious if it is equal today. Because I have always wondered this, but I've never really bothered to look. So let's find out. Let's find out. Oh, nope, today it's not quite equal, but it's darn close. Today we have 12 hours and 14 minutes of daylight. And we have 11 hours, 45 minutes of night. So it's mighty close, But I'll bet you if we were at the halfway point between the boop and the boop, technical term, the boop and the boop, look it up. But halfway, I'll bet you that's where it's equal. I'll bet. A quarter, I'll bet it. And, let's see here. You've been scaring Dr. Steve, Mama Sean, with major purging of stuff lately. Well, if he gets too scared, come up back to Seattle, come back up here, and you go purge my house. And, E-Music, because of the leap year, the date changes. Some say it was yesterday. Good point. Good point. I always thought that it was more of a lunar thing, though. But yeah, that makes sense that it would be, that does make sense. And Gil Soto coming in, referring to me as my new persona, L. That's right. Oh yes, L. That is me. I've been trying to read more on my insurances. I haven't passed the exam yet, so Elle is not in true full blossom, but she's getting there. And let's see here. If she purges, Aveda's asking if Mama Sean comes and purges my house, can we get a kitten cam? Yes, we can get a kitten cam then. Yes, we can. And let's see here. So according to Rick, who seems to like have it down to the second, last night, 10:05 p.m. Central Time was, I guess, the equinox. How do they name the minute? That seems weird, but okay. Okay, they named the minute. There you go. All right then. And you celebrated it yesterday too. See, I always think of it as the 21st, and I know that that's varies from year to year, but because I'm lazy, the solstice is December 21st and June 21st. The equinoxes are March and September. That was a little embarrassing, not knowing that off the top of my head. Hey there, Devin. Good to see you. All right, so let's see here. What are we gonna talk about, you guys? What are we gonna talk about? Because we already talked about Kitten Pete's and beautiful boys named Leo. Let's see here. Oh, I know what we can talk about. Other than Leo. Okay, what we can talk about is this. I saw a super cool thing last night. And, Kenny, you're guessing those Equinox trackers have lots of spare time and amazing with math skills. Yeah. Well, I don't know if they're amazing with math skills, but from my perspective, they're amazing with math skills, mostly because I am not amazing with math skills. I mean, like, pluses and minuses, good to go. Other than that, not so much. But what I was saying, so yesterday I saw this article and I thought it was the coolest article in the world, or one of the coolest articles in the world. And no, it's not Whale Talk Wednesday, but you know what it is? It's Water Talk Wednesday, because we've got two things that are water themed, and this is one of the water themes. So, you guys, I don't know if you're familiar with public swimming pools, but we do have public swimming pools all across the world. And as you might know, if you A, own a swimming pool yourself, or B, are familiar with the maintenance and taking care of indoor and outdoor swimming pools, the cost of heating the water is kind of expensive. And it's kind of a money drain on municipalities who try to provide public swimming pools. Public swimming pools take up a lot of space just in their footprint, but they also take up a lot of energy in regards to their carbon footprint. And so that is a little bit of a problem that cities have been dealing with. A lot of it, some of it literally comes down to budgeting. Do we have the money for our swimming pools? Now, conversely, with our technological growth as a worldwide community, we are creating a lot of external heat with things like air conditioners and things like data center servers, where computers not only create a bunch of heat as they're working, they need to be cooled because they overheat, and that's not helpful. So their data centers, technological data centers, computer data network centers, spend a lot of money on heating or on cooling costs. Well, check this out, you guys. They've finally figured out, wait, you've got a problem we can solve, and we've got a problem you can solve. And in England now, there's a brand new startup company that is using data center heat to heat the swimming pools, and the pools are using their cold water to cool the data center. And so check this out, you guys. I thought this was just, I mean, talk about two birds, one stone. Check this out.
This is a box full of computers, and the computers are immersed in an inert oil. So an oil that doesn't harm the computers, quite the opposite. It actually helps the computers. There are no fans, so it actually protects them. And what happens is the computers in the oil, the computers heat the oil up. The oil then flows through that pipe over to the other side of the plant room. It flows into a heat exchanger, and in that heat exchanger the hot oil meets the cold water from the pool. So the hot oil is flowing through those pipes down here and into the heat exchanger. Yeah, indeed. It's a type of affect any of the components. But then after that, they get immersed in. We always compare it to radio for about 5 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning. I was absolutely terrified. Super long time frame. Yeah.
So good you haven't had to do that yet.
Since we were first launched about 3 months ago, almost every swimming pool and every district heating system in, I would say, the Northern Hemisphere has got in contact with us, which is amazing. We now have thousands and thousands of potential sites to deploy this technology to across Europe. The challenge now is getting people to use the compute, and thankfully since our launch we're now getting more and more companies now coming to us to use the compute. Because it's environmentally friendly, it's way cheaper than their normal cloud provider, but also we're doing some social good, right? We're heating a swimming pool and helping swimming pools to stay open.
What we didn't know at the time we agreed to pilot with Deep Green was that there was going to be a war in Ukraine, and that was going to see the cost of gas triple. So this has been very timely in that with the cost of gas and electricity rocketing up, the savings are greater. Costs are coming down, which is good, but we're still seeing significant savings.
Yeah, so there you go. There you have it. And as the last little caption said on that video, normally they just vent the heat. Well, what does that do? That puts the heat out into the atmosphere, which makes it just a little bit warmer in that area. And if the data center is in, say, a corporate, office park, which is concrete buildings in the middle of a concrete parking lot, venting heat out into a concrete atmosphere where concrete only absorbs and holds and radiates heat longer into the night, holds the heat, doesn't allow the earth to cool off as much as, say, regular ground does. It just creates a hotter and hotter situation, which is something I've been told we would like to avoid as human beings, because apparently, I've been told, things are getting hotter and hotter, and we don't really want to do stuff to add more fuel to that fire. So there you have it, Rabbit. And very interesting to know, Mama Sean, Dr. Steve said Boeing in Bellevue Data Center has a pond they've used since at least the 90s, but no pool. That would have made the employees pretty happy. Totally, but that is awesome that Boeing was using some kind of technology. I'm curious though, like, so they've heated the water of the pond? I mean, is that good? Is that bad? Do they have tropical goldfish in the pond outside of Boeing in Bellevue? And let's see here. Rick, Microsoft is building a huge data center 20 miles south of us. You can just see the electric rates going up. Well, hard to say, on, where, I have no idea. Luckily, my power company doesn't provide power to the majority of Microsoft's people. Then again, my power company does give the majority of power, or does provide a ton of power for the likes of Amazon and, I guess Amazon, basically. But still, my Seattle City is one of the cheapest in the country, so even if the rates went up, I'm in no position to complain. And I hope, though, that the rates won't go up. I hope that... You would think, in a capitalist society, if you're selling more, the price would go down, right? I mean, actually, don't you think? Obviously, supply and demand is a factor in that, but whatever. Aveda is saying at the distillery, one of the stills did this, so it used less water because you don't need to have hot water and cold water. It cycles about to go where it needed. Efficiency. Perfect. Exactly. And Darlene, now you just got to get a computer lab set up, disperse the heat. Yeah, there you go. Disperse the heat for your pool, Mama Sean. And that would just make you work more, and you're trying to avoid that. Fair enough. And Shock, you have a nuclear plant down here. Oh, that is just so weird to me. That is just so weird that they actually have nuclear power plants still up and running. I don't think we've got any in our state anymore. I mean, we used to a lot, but I don't think we anymore. But that's okay, because we have enough nuclear waste to last us 8,000 lifetimes. And, fun fact, some of that nuclear waste is on the verge of seeping into the second largest river in the United States, the Columbia. So neat. Yeah, okay. And TD Center here uses cold lake water to cool their buildings. Brilliant. And Shock, you've been using your computers for room heating because your furnace is still out. Oh, dude. That sucks. Because you're such a cold-blooded little one. You're just so chilly. In 80 degrees, you're still wearing your sweaters. Oh, that's awful, dude. I hope that you've got all of your gloves and blankies and mittens on. I hope that your doggy gives you good cuddles. Good snuggles and cuddles. That's what I hope. Alright, so let's see here. Kenny, you should all chip in and get Saturn Amazon gift card and a Prime subscription. No, you should not. No, you should not. Why would you do that, Kenny? I don't use Amazon. I actually, you do know I kind of don't like Amazon. You do know I'm a hypocrite, right? I mean, let's just call it out for what it is. I'm a huge Amazon hypocrite. Because what am I doing right now? Am I on an Amazon-owned streaming, is the money that I get for streaming coming out of an Amazon-owned company's money? Yes. 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 So I recognize that I'm a hypocrite. First off. But I don't like to shop at Amazon. And Shock, are you just driving around so you have a heater? Because that's not the worst idea in the world. And 58, your room was 58 this morning. Okay, hon, that is cold. I say I get cold. I mean, I like cold. I like my house to be cold. I like my bedroom to be cold. I like to be cold. But if my bedroom is 64 degrees, the heat gets turned on. So, 58? Oh, honey bunches. No. Yeah, you need to go get a space heater or something, dude. And yes, Twitch is Amazon, isn't it? See, now, Mama Sean, you're doing me a solid. You're watching on YouTube. You're not getting none of that Amazon dirt on you. It's all good. But like me, I'm just rolling around in the mud with those that I say I hate. And, let's see here. Terry in Scotland, me and Jeff are in cahoots. Well, it's a love-hate relationship, let me tell you, my friend. Let me tell you. And, Kenny from the Cove, I had a feeling you knew better than to offer up an Amazon subscription. You knew the claws were going to come out on that one. And Gil, right, it's like you love coffee, but not the coffee industry and its treatment of farmers. Exactly. And, oh. Not only does Shock not have a heater, also no power at the moment. Okay, so. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life, but here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna drive around for a long time. You're gonna get warm, stay warm, keep warm. You're gonna waste a lot of time and a little bit of gas by driving around. Then you're gonna get some food that's hot to bring home, and if your man is there to share it with you, that's fine, and if he's not, that's fine too. But you're gonna be basically staying as much time in your flippin' car as you can, because no heat and no power is a problem. I mean, okay, generally no heat goes with no power, but either way, yeah. Right, Darlene, exactly. What? Why do you have no power? Come here and stay a bit. It might be a little bit of a drive to get to Darlene's, but there you go. That's what you're doing. You're going to Darlene's house tonight. And yeah, Gil, there you go. Hang out at the coffee shop or the library. I don't think the library is going to be open this late in her neck of the woods, but I do think a coffee shop might. Oh, right. God dang it, Gil. That was a really good idea until you pointed out that it wasn't a good idea. Yeah, okay, good point. They might not have power too. And Shock, you have hope that they will fix it soon, but it's been out since 5. And I don't know if you mean 5 p.m. or 5 a.m. I hope I don't know what I hope. I hope that it gets fixed is what I hope. And let's see here. Oh, see Honda. Good to see you, girl. We are right now lamenting the situation that Shock finds herself in. She's got no power at home, and even if she had power, she had no furnace, so she's a chilly Billy. And we're feeling cold for her. Yeah, Devin, exactly. Set up a fire pit. That's what I'd do. And let's see here. Gino, looking for healthy-ish lunch, dinner ideas. That's a really good thing to talk about, actually. And let's see here. Well, you need wood for that. Well, that's true, but Devin, wood can be found. You know, you can find wood. Let's see here. The William and Mary Library is open till midnight. Oh, there you go. Then go hang out at the library if it's got power, that is. And that's right. Aloha, Sharon, meow, Taro. Exactly. That's it. And Gil Soto, you had a power outage in 21. No power, no water. Wow, that's not handy. I'm really lucky. All the places I've ever lived, if you don't have power, you still have water. I really would be very unhappy if you couldn't flush the toilet during a power outage. And let's see here. Rick coming in with, you can never go wrong with a BLT, Gina, for lunch. You know, Rick, you can, but it feels so good to go wrong with a BLT. I will go down the wrong path with you if it ends at a BLT any day. Any day. And let's see here. We had to hold it for 3 days. You're lying, Gil. You just didn't get to flush for 3 days. I mean, no, you didn't hold it for 3 days. And let's see here. If you hide in the reference section of the code library, you can stay as long as you want. Nobody uses the reference section, so you can make a fort using the old old encyclopedias, and if you stay quiet, they'll never know that you're there. And Gina, you don't like tomato, and your stomach doesn't like bacon or pork. All right, well then you can definitely go wrong with the BLT. But honestly, Gina, to tell you the truth, soup. The answer is soup. Not necessarily cream of mushroom soup or cream of broccoli soup or cream of anything soup, but soup. And when I say soup, I mean a broth-based soup, be it vegetable broth, be it, chicken broth, be it whatever. Some days when I can't figure out what the flying fork it is I want to even eat, I will put on a pot of like 2, 3, 4 cups of water and put chicken bouillon or beef bouillon or whatever I'm in the mood for, soup base, and basically get a pot of broth cooking, just broth. But then I'll be like, oh, I'm going to throw some green beans in there. And so then I cook the green beans, and then I eat the green beans. And then, it's like, oh, I'm going to throw some zucchini in there. And then I cook the zucchini, and slowly but surely, as the day goes on, the soup gets eaten and boils off and whatever. And then at the end of the night, it's like, well, maybe I'll throw in some soup dumplings and have some soup dumplings and cook them in there and blah, blah, blah. But soup, broth, throw in a handful of spinach. It'll be an extra serving of vegetables that you can kind of sneak in. I've been trying to sneak more vegetables into my day-to-day stuff, and I found that basically a handful of spinach can almost be you can throw it in almost anything. Your spaghetti sauce, your soup, your whatever. And so I'm going to suggest for a healthy-ish soup, because you don't have to make it healthy. You can make it a cream of cheese soup if you want. That's not going to be healthy. It's going to be delicious, but it's not going to be healthy. But the soup, and Verity, we went to the same cooking school. Yeah, exactly. It's called the Lazy Cooking School. But, well, yeah, okay, so you need to make it healthy. Well, then don't have the cream of cheese and broccoli soup. But seriously, broth, cooking stuff in broth, as opposed to, instead of boiling your beans in water, which just, boil your beans or, cook your beans in the broth, they taste better. They just taste better. Instead of making rice with water, make rice with broth. It's super, super delicious. But basically, though, vegetables and broth, whatever other kind of meat thing or whatever, soups are like infinity, man. Snoops are like infinity, man. Except for they're really called soups. And Devin, you can make a mean chicken stock, chicken soup. It's dead easy, just takes all day. Exactly. And let's see here. Oh wait, is Scott up here? Did I? Let's see. Shock, make a BLT on a corn tortilla and add some avocado. That sounds delicious, actually. But did I? Hold on. Scott bought wood with the intention of using it in the fireplace with blower, but there's no blower. But now there's no blower. Oh, right. So you do have a fireplace and you do have wood. Just no blower. Got it. Yeah. Got it. And let's see here. And Aveda is saying, ooh, I did this with my mashed taters at Thanksgiving. Boiled the taters in broth and then mashed them. Ooh, that sounds good. And Kenny, chicken and matzo ball soup is Jewish penicillin. That's a quote from the movie Van Wilder. Yeah, I don't know if it's just a quote from that movie. That I thought was just a fact. I mean, I thought that was just... I thought it was just a fact. And Darlene, yeah, making rice with the broth instead, so much yum. And let's see here. Terry, you're so silly. Did I hear about Spiderface? She cut off her nose to Spiderface. Yep, there you have it, Rabbit. And Shuck, if you open up the can of worms for what healthy means, well, healthy means, you know, what's good for your personal particular body. Which, granted, means healthy is not the same for everyone. And, well, rice isn't not healthy, it's just not what you want to use as a staple. But seriously, if you put, like, a tablespoon of rice in a pot of soup just to give it a little thickness and texture, I really don't think it's going to cause a huge blood sugar spike in most people. But you're all right. Totally. Rice is just like, let's just eat rice. Yeah, that's probably not going to do many favors for many people who have a very carb-heavy diet. And in the United States, as a general rule, we have a carb-heavy diet. But you know, I am curious though, what you were thinking, Gina. Like, okay, so you needed some ideas, but what were you? I'm sure you had some. Like, okay, let me rephrase this. What am I saying? I'm guessing you already have ideas of what is a healthy lunch, and I'm also guessing. I've eaten that so many times, I'm really tired of it. I really need new ideas. So, if that's the case, what are some of the things that you normally eat that you think are healthy for you? That way we know whether or not our suggestions are something that you would even want. Because like Rick said, the BLT, but you're just like, cannot do tomato, cannot do the Porkies, not a good idea. So yeah, what are some of your ideas of yumminess? And Pinnell, you only get organic brown rice and you mix it with wild rice. I do, I don't like brown rice. I just don't. I don't like brown rice. But wild rice, I really want to try wild rice by itself. Because I've only tried it mixed with white rice, and we've already talked about this on the stream. White rice and wild rice do not cook at the same rate. And so you either end up with cooked wild rice and mushy rice, or you end up with cooked rice and super hard wild rice. Because they don't cook at the same time. And, okay, so you normally eat quick meals that are highly processed and high in carbs. Got it. Well then, what I would do is, if you've got like a, let's just say you like frozen burritos. Instead of getting a frozen burrito from the store, why are words so jarred, Gina? Why is it so jarred? What I'm trying to say is try to make homemade, pre-cook for yourself. Make homemade what you would normally buy pre-made. So if you like Amy's cheese enchiladas, oh God, they're so good. If you like them, instead of buying Amy's cheese enchiladas, make yourself some cheese enchiladas, package them up in a twofer like Amy's has, and then you'll have them ready. They'll be like your own TV lunches, TV dinners for lunch. Whatever you want to call them, I think you know what I'm trying to say, but words are jarred, and so please understand. And yeah, exactly, Kenny, burritos. Who said burritos? Exactly. And Shock, you make tuna salad or egg salad and a big pile of greens with balsamic vinegar and oil. Totally, yeah. What I usually do is I make a big pot of soup and I eat off of it over a week for at least one meal a day. It's just sad and pathetic, but true. And let's see here, Darlene. Yeah, having cauliflower rice yesterday for your beef stir fry. Yeah, totally. Cauliflower rice does work. And even though, like Shock was saying, rice isn't, necessarily the best thing for you. If you're not a big fan of cauliflower rice, because it's just not quite the right texture as rice, and if you're really about that, you can always substitute half of your rice for cauliflower rice. So instead of eating a half a cup of rice, you're only eating a quarter cup of rice and then a quarter cup of the cauliflower. There's little changes you can do, and then eventually you can maybe, trick yourself into thinking that cauliflower rice is just fine and dandy. But seriously though, but yeah, actually, boiled eggs is a refrigerator standby. Totally. And not only boiled eggs, what I like to have on hand in the refrigerator is obviously hard-boiled egg, but treated, but peeled and soaked in a little bit of soy, a little bit of mirin, and make it a ramen egg, basically. So it's a really flavorful, marinated hard-boiled egg. Plain hard-boiled egg in the shell or marinated hard-boiled egg. Those are snacks that are so filling and so flippin' quick. And honestly, and this is so embarrassing, you guys, because I feel like I've turned into my mom from the 70s. But oh my God, you guys, cottage cheese is really good. Cottage cheese. Yeah. If I'm hungry and I can't figure out what the heck I want to make for myself, cottage cheese. There you go. Cottage cheese. And Kenny, you've got all the stuff for your non-lethal chili recipe. You know what you're doing after the chat. There you go. And Mama Sean, 100 years ago, when I was a student working part-time, the dietitian I was working for did her thesis on culture-based foods for populations. Was really interesting even as a teen. Yeah, totally. I bet. And Gina, cauliflower rice, you can get it. You can get it pre-riced. In the freezer section, or if you just want to make it on your own, just get a head of cauliflower and run it through if you've got like a grater, a cheese grater, a box grater, just grate it, and it basically ricifies itself. So super easy to make, super easy to find. I want to say Trader Joe's has a lot of cauliflower substitutions like rice, cauliflower crust pizza, etc., etc. But yeah, cauliflower rice, super easy to create or to make, to make or to find. Jeez Louise. And Kenny, cottage cheese with salt and pepper and some thin sliced tomatoes is pretty tasty. I can't, like Gina, I can't do tomatoes anymore, which, when I finally realized it was tomatoes that were my problem, you guys, not being able to eat tomatoes kind of sucks. And I don't even, love tomatoes. I'm not even an Italian. But having all of this sauce meat-based stuff no longer an option in myself. It just, not being able to eat tomatoes sucks so bad. Hey, PPP Bang, good to see you here. We're coming up with vague ideas of what might be healthy to eat for lunch. So far, we've got soup, cauliflower rice, and cottage cheese. So, oh yeah, and hard-boiled eggs. So there you have it. Yeah, so, I'm thinking though that since you already have a habit of processed foods, which are so delicious, you want to mimic that, but make it less processed and make it more homemade. That's my suggestion. And yeah, wraps are good too. Sandwiches are good too. Although, sandwiches sometimes have very processed deli meats. And so, yeah, it depends on how non-processed you really want to get. But yeah, totally, Mama Sean, crock pot of homemade stew or chili. Yeah, do a crock pot of that and then pop little servings in the freezer. You've got them at the ready every day, fresh and good. And it looks like Trail Dust and Teeter came in. I did not see Trail Dust or Teeter. Well, okay, I don't ever see Teeter. I just hear that Teeter exists. But if Trail Dust is here, and I'm not seeing him, I'm just seeing people saying hi to him, I'm just gonna assume he's here, and I'm just gonna say, hey, Trail Dust, so good to see ya. All right, so Mama Sean bragging about the thunder and lightning. Very, very frightening to me. Mamma mia. No, that's not what we're gonna do. But what we are gonna do is, we are already 15 minutes past our Lono listening break, which is pretty good, actually, considering I had no idea what the flying fork we were gonna talk about. So, first, Gina, you need to go scramble an egg. Aggressive, some chopped protein. Aggressive, some chopped protein? I'm not sure about that. Like maybe ham. Sprinkle some cheese and roll it up. I don't know what she means by aggressive, some chopped protein, but I do think what she means is get yourself some chopped protein and put it in the tortilla you made of the egg. You're gonna pretend like your egg is a tortilla. You're gonna stir your egg up like you're scrambling, but you're gonna pour it in the pan. It's gonna get flat, and you're gonna let it just cook. You're gonna lift the edges and put the egg under, and it's just gonna cook. And then once it cooks, you're gonna maybe flip it, right? You're gonna flip it. You're gonna try to flip it. You're gonna mess up the flip, but you're gonna flip it just to make sure it's all cooked. And then you're gonna sprinkle the cheese. You're gonna sprinkle the hams. Oh yeah, the hams. No, not the hams. You can't do the porks. You're gonna sprinkle the turkeys. You're gonna sprinkle the beefs. You're gonna sprinkle the turkeys and the beefs. And then you're gonna roll it all up and you're gonna eat it. You're gonna eat it. And you call that an omelet. Yeah, that's true. But I call it an egg tortilla. That's right. It's an egg tortilla. No, not the type of tortilla. That's the Spanish tortilla, which also has egg in it and potatoes. That's different. This is the Mad Statter tortilla. Mad Statter egg tortilla, aka a flat omelet. There we go. Flat omelet. All right, so let's see here. Devin, you like to eat things like egg salad and chili with tortilla chips instead of bread sometimes? You guys. Flavored tortilla chips, nacho cheese, chili spice, taco, whatever, Cool Ranch even, dipped in cottage cheese. Oh my god, it's one of my favorites. Chips and cottage cheese is the dip. Just the plain cottage cheese, because the flavor is already on the chip, right? And Kenny, I need a good brown gravy meatloaf recipe. If you ever find your mom's recipe, you'll share it with me. It's never miss meatloaf. Okay, that's cool, because I don't. The meatloaf recipe that I have is ketchup topped. But I've never had a meatloaf with brown gravy. I know that meatloaf generally comes either with a brown sauce or red sauce, so I get that there is a brown gravy version. I've just never had it, so I would be super stoked to try that. Because my best guess is your mom probably knew how to cook. From what I've heard of you and your cooking, I'm guessing your mom actually probably knew how to cook too. And Mama Sean, don't worry, if Kenny doesn't share it with all of us, I will post it on my Discord. Because we've already got some recipes up there on the Discord channel. Darlene's granola, for instance, great granola recipe to start from. You can personalize it. It's flippin' delicious. So, yeah. So, Kenny, if you do find it, you have a waiting and willing audience for this brown gravy meatloaf. But we are now 18 minutes past our Lono listening break. 18 minutes past the Lono listening break, y'all. So it's time for a Lono listening break. So, this is one of my top 3 favorite Lono tunes. It might be my favorite Lono tune, but I cannot really say because it's hard to pick. But what I will say is, when I'm really stressed and I just need to like come back to center, this is always the song that I listen to. And I try to sing along with it. I don't sing along very well with it, but I try. All right, so there we have it, Rabbit. Let's go to Molokai with Lono.
Kalineila, he ui maoli no ke ia ainala, e honi nei a loko o ka pu'uwai, mana pai ala o hina. Ne aku I ke kula a o moa ula haku ko'i I ka vai ai ai I na pali a he vai hui ke pili mai ka ili me molo ka inui ai Ina ma'e ma'e no lole, ma'e ma'e ke kino, ma'e ma'e ho'i ka uhane ola e. Ka maua ke ai, ka halau a ola, ho'olo he polo lei, Molokai nui aina. Molokai. Aku no ioe ia au e kaneila e ui maoli no ke ia aina la ho'olo he polo lei Molokai nui aina
If you enjoy what you heard, check us out at www.lonomusic.com. Aloha.
All right, there we have it. And yes, Trail Dust, I think you probably spoke for more of us than than we care to admit. But yeah, your ukulele sounds better when you throw it down the stairs. You just can't play or sing. Yeah, me either. I just cannot. But that's okay. I can still, actually, I can sing. I mean, like, I can make the noises and stuff. Maybe not right or in tune, but you know, I can make noise that sounds like maybe it's somebody's trying to sing. So, all right, there we go. Awesome, Gina, you're back. Okay, so, let's see here. Kenny's saying he doesn't remember any standout differences between the two meatloafs you haven't had since 2008. And knowing your family can find Mom's recipe, you're hoping it's not one of her recipes that was only in her memory and not written down. My best guess is it was just in her memory. Hey, Lily M, good to see you. How's it? We right now just finished our Lono listening break, and we are talking about meatloaf still in its own weird way. And there's meatloaf with brown sauce, and there's meatloaf with red sauce. And apparently not many people have heard of meatloaf with brown sauce. I was wondering, though, for those of you who, it seems like meatloaf with red sauce is the standard that most of us seem to be living under. When you say red sauce, do you mean ketchup? Or do you mean red gravy? Do you mean the tomato-based, like, Italian style, for lack of a better term, spaghetti sauce? I know when it's on meatloaf, it's not spaghetti sauce, but you know what I'm trying to say. A marinara type sauce versus a ketchup. I consider ketchup its own thing, and I actually don't consider ketchup as part of the red sauce variant of meatloaf. But my Italian friend in New York got very upset with that differentiation. And he was just like, if it's tomato based, it's red sauce. It doesn't matter if it's ketchup or marinara, it's still red sauce. And so, just curious if all y'all have feelings as strong as he does, or in either direction. And let's see here. Michi Mama, how's it? You forgot to change your account. Good to see you, Michi Mama. And Kenny, there are huge volumes somewhere of your mom's recipes that have yet to be found. Yep. And what? Trail Dust, you have just broke my brain. Your son makes a meatloaf with red sauce with corn chips on top, and you like it. Now, many questions, my friend. First off, the corn chips, I presume, are crushed on top, right? The red sauce, is it ketchup, or is it marinara, or is it salsa or something, or some other kind of red sauce? The corn chip makes me wonder if it's got a Southwestern red sauce flair versus an Italian red sauce flair versus the ketchup red sauce flair. I'm guessing it's not the barbecue sauce kind, because I take umbrage at barbecue sauce on meatloaf. Barbecue sauce does not belong on meatloaf. I know I'm probably in the minority on that, but that's my stance. And then corn chips, not potato chips. And then also, when do they put the chips on? Near the end or throughout the whole thing? I have so many questions. Okay, so Trail Dust can verify the chips are broken. Okay. And, Pinnell, okay, coming in with something that I'd never heard of before, but this does bring some clarity. tomato soup was used in meatloaf that you learned in home ec. Okay. And so, yeah, Gina, ketchup is the fast food of the red sauce family. I guess that's true. So I guess maybe it still is red sauce. I don't really consider, I feel like red sauce is just a little fancier than, say, ketchup. And Devin, your grandmother made a stew, and thinking back, it wasn't a brown stew, it was tomato based. And you'd been itching to try it and see if you can recreate it from memory and taste, as why Hod. So there you go, dude. Yeah, so hopefully this conversation will have sparked a couple things. It sounds like it sort of did. It's like, wait, that was a tomato-based stew, not a brown stew. So hopefully you can maybe start grinding the gears and getting them. And let's see here, Kenny is saying the red sauce your mom made were tomato paste based and not really a marinara. Both the red and brown sauces were baked on top of the loaf. Okay. And let's see here. Trelda says the chips are crispy, so it must be near the end. All right, that is just bizarre, Trail Dust. I'm not gonna lie to you. That is blowing my flipping mind. And you better believe the next time I am making meatloaf, I am gonna try it. Just because it's bizarre doesn't mean that I'm not okay with it. In fact, just because it's bizarre probably means I'm down with it. But no, that is just... I don't mean to be a fat girl, but here I'm going to be a fat girl. I'm really excited to try this. And Mitchie Mama, would you guys believe that I put ketchup on roast pork? I would believe that you did that because actually I didn't have any roast pork today, but I did have a pork chop that I fried up in the frying pan, and I ate it with ketchup as well. I mean, I had some mustard too, but yeah, I now, Mitchie Mama, you do understand that in certain communities, you and I would go to jail for putting ketchup on a pork product. I think if we were on the East Coast, they would lock us up as foreign imposters who claim to be Americans, but they're not. Because apparently, ketchup on pork is verboten in a lot of people's minds. But I will do time with you, Mitchie Mama. I will fight for your right to put ketchup on your pork. And, and there you go, Trail Dust. I can definitely get behind that. Just because it's bizarre may mean I'm down with it. Yes, that is exactly it. And let's see here. Terry in Scotland, a cup or so of red wine in meatloaf makes it taste richer. Especially when a cup for the meatloaf and a cup for the cook. A cup for the meatloaf and a cup for the cook. Tastes great that way. And let's see here. Trail Dust, your college roommate was from North Dakota. Catsup went on everything. My family, half my family is from Canada. Ketchup goes on everything. Ketchup goes on macaroni and cheese. Yeah, that's right, macaroni and cheese. Yeah, that's right, macaroni and cheese. Ketchup goes on bologna. Ketchup goes on... There's this stuff my grandma used to make called mince stew. And basically it's a ground beef, peas and carrots in gravy. And they would eat ketchup on their mince stew. No, they wouldn't put ketchup in the mince stew and cook it with, because God forbid, that would give it flavor. But once they made the brown, tasteless glop that they then would serve to you on a plate, they would then put ketchup along the side and eat ketchup with their eyes. I don't understand what they were... If you're going to use ketchup to flavor this glop, why don't you cook the glop with the ketchup? Because it's really hard to put ketchup on glop without mixing it. So just mix it. Whatever. They're dead, so I can't argue with them anymore. And, let's see here. C Honda, ketchup on everything? Now you think Canadians are strange. Well, okay, that's not true. They don't put ketchup on, like, Oreos. They don't put ketchup on things like that. But they do put ketchup on a lot of stuff. Like, if you have a grilled cheese sandwich, you better believe there's ketchup with that. If you have a bologna sandwich, definitely ketchup. If you've got French fries, obviously some ketchup, although they're just as likely to put gravy on their French fries as they are ketchup. So I will give them the weird point for that. But Aveda's coming in, even though they put gravy on their French fries, they have ketchup flavored chips in Canada. And I will tell you right now, if you've never had a ketchup flavored chip, you're totally missing out. It is worth crossing the border for. It really is. And let's see here. And Kenny from the Cove. Ketchup features pretty heavily in the Bachelor Chow and Howley Chow cookbooks. Precisely. That is exactly it. And let's see here. Mitchie Mama, Darlene, used to be that the ketchup bottle would last a year in your fridge. Now that your son's girlfriend lives here, it goes fast. She grew up in Michigan. And let's see here. Oh, you have a borderline obsession with ketchup, but mainly Jets with fries. But I won't normally turn my nose up at it, except eggs. No ketchup and eggs for you. Well, Devin, you've proven to me that you are not a Canadian. I mean, not that I was ever questioning your lack of Canadian status, but I now believe and am certain you are not a Canadian. I mean, I don't care either way. But, you know. Devin, oh my god. You and your brother could polish off an entire bottle with dinner when you would eat out. Oops. And, Picola T coming on in, admitting she got her days mixed up. Small kind late. That's okay, Picola T. And ketchup only on fries. Sometimes. Okay. And when you don't have them on fries, when you don't use ketchup on fries, do you use malt vinegar? When you don't have ketchup on fries, do you use gravy? Because if you say you do use malt vinegar or gravy, I'm going to say, Picola T, you might be Canadian. Are you Canadian? You might be Canadian. That's right. And Pinnell agreeing, those are good. The ketchup chips. Yes. Let's see here. What else do we have going on here that I might have missed? All right, it looks like I got that. And let's see here. Pinnell, you've never had ketchup on eggs. Your family thought it was low class. Okay, Pinnell. Okay, cool. I get it. But clearly, ketchup on eggs is enough of a thing that your Canadian family had an opinion about it, right? Mitchie Mama, question, is it safe to keep ketchup out of the fridge? Yes, and when I worked at the restaurant, at the bowling alley restaurant, we would keep the ketchup bottles out on the tables from 6 a.m. until 2 a.m. when we closed. So every night they would spend 4 hours in the fridge. And the only reason why they did that was because I don't even know why they did that. It really, like, there was no regulation. They didn't have to. It's such a vinegary product that it really doesn't go bad. They say after you open the jar, you should keep it in the fridge, which I guess is why they put it in the fridge for those 4 hours a day. But you can keep it on your counter all day, and it's not going to go bad like milk. It can get warm, and it's not going to go rancid like mayo. It's very shelf stable. It doesn't have to be in the fridge. If you're going to be eating off of the one bottle over a year, yeah, keep it in the fridge. But if that girl is going through it as fast as you say she is, you probably don't need to keep it in the fridge. You know what I'm saying? So, and then again, though, I am speaking from a Pacific Northwest point of view. Very, very, very good point. When you're in the humidity and the heat, you probably do want to keep it in the fridge for long-term storage. But still, if it stays out all day, don't worry about it. It's not like it's not gonna go bad. The worst thing that you're probably gonna have to worry about keeping your ketchup out of the fridge in your area is those stupid flippin' ants are gonna just be like, I smell sugar somewhere, I smell some kind of food source, and they're gonna infiltrate your they're going to infiltrate your ketchup. That's actually probably, or the cockroaches, right? Yeah, that's actually, to me, probably the bigger risk in Hawaii of keeping the stuff out. But in regards to just whether or not ketchup needs to be refrigerated, not really. But Rick is totally right. It does extend its shelf life. So if you were going to keep one bottle for an entire year, refrigerate that baby. But if that one bottle is only going to last a week, it probably doesn't have to be in the refrigerator. Other than to keep it from bugs. Right? Right. And, let's see here. Mama Sean, tartar sauce on fries and really no reason for ketchup in your fridge. Tartar sauce on fries is super good, and you know what? I just figured out the other day. Mayonnaise, chopped up sauerkraut, a little bit of dill relish, mixed together makes a delicious tartar sauce. So if you want to sneak some fermented foods into some sauces and things, you can add sauerkraut to your tartar sauce, and you really won't taste it. The flavor profiles blend beautifully. I'm kind of surprised that sauerkraut isn't more of a common ingredient in tartar sauce, oddly enough. And Kenny from the Cove, if you notice, ketchup is not kept in a refrigerator case at the grocery store. Well, that's true, and neither is mayo. But you better believe once you open mayo, you better keep it in the fridge. Period, end of story. And sort of the same thing with ketchup. Once that seal is broken, it's probably going to extend its shelf life to be in the fridge. The mayo you need to have in the fridge, though. And you know that. So it's once it's open is what the deal is, right? And Terry in Scotland, McDonald's makes their special sauce by placing jars of mayonnaise in the sun all day. Nope, not quite, my friend. But you know, it's so funny. People used to think that McDonald's Big Mac sauce was mayonnaise and ketchup and relish all mixed together. Not at all true. There is no tomato product in Big Mac sauce. Despite the fact that it's a little bit orange, there is no tomato sauce. There's mustard, there's paprika, but there's no tomato or ketchup or anything like that in a Big Mac sauce. And I've never had ketchup with curry in it, but I have ketchup and I have curry. I might have to mix those, Thomas the Turtle. And let's see here. Devin is answering with Mama. Okay, I have an opinion on this. I think unopened bottles of ketchup need to be refrigerated to get it cold to go on your hot fries. If it stays out, it will start to ferment. I can tell you when it starts because it begins to taste like McDonald's ketchup because it's left out all the time. Again, just your opinion. And there you go, Devin. That's probably why they did put it in the refrigerator in the yeah. It's probably why they put the ketchup in the refrigerator at the restaurant that I worked at. It slowed down the fermentation. And yes, indeed, sometimes the ketchup bottles would ferment, and you would know that very easily, and then we would empty them out and wash them, and this, that, and the other thing. We would actually empty them out and wash them before they fermented, but occasionally in the process of emptying them out and washing them, we realize, oh, this bottle should have been emptied out a little while ago. It's a little puffy, it's got a little gas. When you open it up, it's got a little, it's carbonated ketchup. That's not right. And, and Rick, how long do you think fast food condiment packets stay good? I guess it depends. I mean, I think soy sauce packets probably stay, good forever. And oh no, shock, with every discussion of French fries, I find myself closer and closer to stopping at McDonald's. Oh no, because I won't be able to cook when you get home. No. All right, you guys. All right, here we go. We are going to switch the topic entirely. I have one more video we're going to watch. And then we're going to... Oh, cool. Terry, you're going to start your stream after I finish? Perfect. You guys. Oh my God, you guys. Okay. Oh my God. All right, so I have one more video that we're going to show you. Then we're going to let Terry go and start his stream. Then we're going to raid Terry's stream. Now, you don't have to watch Terry's stream, but you guys, oh my God. Terry right now is in the middle of streaming a 8-part series called Dope Sick. And unfortunately, the first 4 episodes we've already watched. So this is just going to be the last 4 episodes. Not all today, but there's 4 left. If you have not seen the series Dope Sick, it stars Michael Keaton, and it's based on the true story of how Purdue Pharmacy forced OxyContin into the world and has, for the most part, has created the homeless situation that we have now. Yeah, there's a lot of factors to homelessness, but drug addiction to opioids is one of them, and fentanyl is what we're at now, but we couldn't have gotten to fentanyl if we hadn't had OxyContin. So, Devin, where can you watch it? I don't know where Terry got it. I don't know where it is streaming. I think it might be on Hulu, but the last 4 episodes, Terry's going to, I think, be streaming. I don't know if he's going to just stream 1 or 2 today, but Terry's been streaming 2 episodes every day for the last 2 days. So there's 4 episodes left. So you're going to come in the middle, but that's okay. They do a lot of flashbacks and flash forwards and things. So anyway, if you have time, go hang out with Terry after this stream, because, and if you don't want to watch it in the middle, but you want to see it, I cannot say enough good things about this series. But we're not going to talk about that series at the moment. What we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit more about Hawaii, and we're going to talk about Lahaina. And like I said earlier, the 2 videos that I had today are water themed, and so this is all about the waters that used to inundate the land of Lahaina, because Lahaina was a wetland before it got colonized and built over and water redistributed and farmland created. Before all that, it was a wetland, and it's turning back into one. Check this out, you guys.
Over 300 properties have already been cleared in Lahaina, and over 75 homes have been given the okay to start rebuilding. A meeting with residents is scheduled for early April. But as survivors get ready to rebuild, nature has already started healing. Nikki Shenfield explains.
In the midst of devastation, life is growing in Lahaina.
The area near 505, Moku'ula and all of that, I've never seen it that green.
Hawaiian royalty lived in Moku'ula. 505, Salvation Army, and Waiola Church did not survive the fire. But the cemetery, where kings and queens were laid to rest, survived, along with the surrounding trees. The historic ulu tree at Waiola burned, but
84 feet away from that tree are its own keiki coming up out of the ground. And that tree is within 30 feet of Moku'ula. So it's being charged by the water that's right there, and that's causing that tree to send up all these sprouts.
Dwayne Sparkman founded Tree Recovery Lahaina and is the County Arborist Committee Chairman. Blake and his friend Zane volunteered to help him earlier this month.
When you walk around that area right now, like you touch the soil, and this is before the rain and all of that, it's moist. There's plants and species in there that shouldn't be growing.
The groundwater below has flooded 505 parking garage before, but with the pump shut off and no one using the water, nature is able to reclaim itself.
They pumped out 1 million gallons, and within 24 hours, 1 million gallons came back. So it's refilling very quick, all the way up to the prison walls, all the way, half a mile from the ocean. We're seeing bog grasses called nutgrass grow in areas where we haven't had enough rain to support this.
Sparkman says it's imperative to keep the water there or find ways to use less potable water and plant more native plants.
Even like the banyan tree, it's tapped into that water source and it's pulling water from right there also.
He says invasive fan palms will be removed from Malu'ulu Olele Park, and ulu trees and coastal sandalwood will be placed there instead. Nearly all the plumeria trees died in the fire. He estimates 90% of mango trees and 70% of the monkey pods are gone too.
I think there's only about 700 to 1,000 trees left in Lahaina right now. out of 25,000 trees.
He says it's important to get soil testing done because there are red flags surrounding the trees that survived.
There's something toxic to the fruit down there because the birds won't even eat the popolo berries. They're not eating the bananas. They're not eating any of the papayas, nor the tomatoes or the lilikoi.
He says no one should eat any fruits from Lahaina trees for at least 2 years. His team, relying on donations, waters the surviving trees, but he hopes the future Lahaina will be able to rely on the water below.
I'm like surrounded by, burnt buildings and places that I grew up going to and all that. But then this little beacon of hope right there, just like, I almost felt weird smiling, but then I don't know. I got so motivated. It's like, yeah, this is what we got to put our time into. We're fighting to rebuild Lahaina better than it was, so we never find ourselves in this position again.
To find out how you can help Tree Recovery Lahaina, go to our website, KHON2.com. Nikki Schoenfeld, KHON2 News, working for Hawaii.
All right, there we have it. So, little bit of bad news mixed in with the good news. But at the same time, we all know that there was a lot of toxic, with all of that burning, all of the human-made materials just incinerating. We already were aware that there was potential for major toxic problems there. So, it's just, the bad news is just reaffirming what we already kind of knew. But I do think it's so awesome that the water is starting to reclaim the land, and all I can hope is that they are going to, when rebuilding Lahaina, they're going to completely revamp the design of the city with the natural water basin in mind. Obviously, I have no say in this, but that is what I hope. And it sounds like other people are perhaps on that same page as well. So I do consider it hopeful. All right, so we are 5 minutes into overtime, and we're going to raid. Normally we do not raid, but today we are going to raid. Terry's going to be showing episodes 5 and 6 of Dope Sick, and if I remember, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, look, a map. Look, a map. That was, I guess we had to have a map today. Sorry about that, you guys. I know it's so out of character. Sorry, don't know where the map came from. Anyway, we're going to raid. Oh my, what in the... Apparently, I want to show a map. But instead, I'm going to try to raid Terry in Scotland. And then, so, Kenny from the Cove, I hope Lahaina has a massive, beautiful, natural rebirth, as do we all, I think. And Gina, precisely, the maps make themselves seen. And Darlene, clean up, save the young trees, Mother Nature is starting to repot or replant for a bit. Yep, there we have it. And, yeah, Freudian slip, apparently. So, I've got the raid, I think, on the verge of being set up. We'll see if I did it right. If I didn't, then we'll do it again. But I'm about to press raid for Terry in Scotland. So, boop, let's see if we can do it. Is it gonna work, or do I have to do a space? Wait, did I do that wrong? God dang it. I did it wrong. There we go. How about this? Okay, there we go. I did it. Okay, we are going to see Terry. Hopefully we'll see each other on Saturday where we'll be watching The Hangover. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for everything. See you soon. Boop.